Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello. Thank God it's Tuesday. It's always such an honor for us to spend. This is the best time of the radio. It's a huge honor for us, and thank you so much for allocating this time for us. And as I just told our listeners, our audience, that as of yesterday, as it happens every 5 years, World Zionist Congress has begun its elections. World Zionist Congress exists to connect diaspora Jews to the land of Israel. And a lot of the people who are running, they have a platform that says, fight for Israel. So this is my big question. How can we, the diaspora Jews, who live everywhere in the world, fight for Israel? Is that even a possibility? Or, well, we'll hear it from you.
Our opinion counts very, very strongly in Israel. Israel listens to the opinion of people outside of Israel. Sometimes they complain, you don't live here, don't give us your opinion. They say that, but they don't mean it. The opinion of the world matters a lot. So our opinion counts. So I don't know if we're fighting for Israel. We need to strengthen Israel, not fight its enemies. Although if you're in a position, if you have influence in government, of course, you use whatever influence you have. But that's not what Israel needs from its fellow Jews. From its fellow Jews, Israel needs encouragement, support, a little criticism, doesn't hurt. But the main thing is, we want Israel on the interior to be strong. The enemies, they can handle that without us. And they have for 70 years. But the internal stuff, when Israel is united, nothing gets in their way. Everything they do succeeds. When they're not united, nothing works. With all the incredible activity of the IDF, including the exploding electronics, we still haven't won the war. We're doing amazing things and we don't seem to be able to win the war. And the real reason is because there is not unity. There are factions in Israel pulling in different directions. Even the fact that during a war, there are people calling for the prime minister to resign. Who does that in the middle of a war? How do you weaken your government when they're trying to win a war? So it's an internal issue that we're dealing with, really. Much more serious and much more dangerous than the external threats.
Rabbi Friedman, so now there's a chance to make a difference, we have an opportunity to affect this from the inside, because this is where a gathering of Jewish people happens and where the split happens. So we have so many people who understand that unity is the most important, it's the essence of our existence. How can we, this is the opportunity, for the next 6 weeks there's elections, and we can get 152 delegates from the United States to go and have a say in the World Zionist Congress, which consists of, I believe, 522 delegates altogether from around the world. So this is an opportunity. Why aren't those who understand what needs to happen and can go right into the heart of the where the problem is and help resolve it? Why are those who know, and I'm talking about the scholars, of course, because who else knows better what we need and how we can win from the inside? Why aren't these people getting involved to make this change?
It's a very good question. They should. They should. Whoever could, should. It's all win. There's no downside. So, yes, everybody should. But you got to be careful that you're not creating another opinion that's going to be pulling in another direction. It has to be in the support of the government. Not a faction, and not an opposition, and not just another opinion. It has to be in support of the government, but in support of the government, you can offer advice, you can offer some criticism.
Rabbi Friedman, why is it that in the Holy Land, in our land, the government is not working together in sync with the scholars and applying our teachings, our gold, our Torah, to governing Israel?
This has been a problem since the Second Temple. The inability to come together on a consensus, to unify in one purpose. We don't have to agree on everything, but on certain fundamentals, like, are we a Jewish state? That's a pretty fundamental question. Not everybody agrees, even among scholars. So the problem is in all sections. The ability to get along in the Middle East. It's not just Israel. Nobody seems to be able to get along. Within every religion, within every sect of the religion, within every community, there is division. Which in some ways is a blessing for us, because if all the Arabs were united, it would not be good. But if Jews were united, it would be wonderful. And not just the Jews in Israel, all Jews. Certain fundamental, universal Jewish principles cannot be debated and cannot be divided. They're immutable. If you're Jewish, you're Jewish. There's no partial Judaism. If it's Jewish, it's Jewish. And then it should be 100% Jewish. You can't argue about that. And yet, we manage. We can make an argument out of everything. So, if people want to help and become a delegate and develop a unified voice in support of the government, whoever the government is, but urging them to do the right thing. Not by threatening to have him removed or overthrown or put in prison. Whoever is in charge is there by divine plan. Obviously, he has the potential to do the right thing. But if people are threatening him and fighting him and blocking him, and even when the United States says, go ahead and do whatever you need to do, we can't seem to do it. We used to say, we're afraid because the government in America will be upset. Okay, the government will not be upset. Go do it. Still can't. Why? It's like Jackie Mason's joke about why a Jew can't be a mugger. Because a mugger says, give me all your money. A Jew can't be so simplistic. We have to make a deal. Give me some of the money now, not all the money. Anyway, it's a terrible habit that we think we have to negotiate with life. In business, it's good. In life, you don't negotiate. You're either alive or you're dead. There's no negotiating. And that's what Trump is saying. There's no negotiating. If that's off the table, then you know what you need to do. We can't stop negotiating. Even for hostages who've been there over 500 days and we're still negotiating. Now 3 today, 4 tomorrow. It's so bad. It's so bad. I actually heard somebody on the radio say, reporter, saying that there's going to be a meeting in Qatar and they're going to discuss the exchange of hostages. It's gotten that bad. We're exchanging hostages? We don't hold any hostages. We have prisoners, murderers. They have babies.
Not anymore.
So we're so unclear about our intention and purpose. Even though Netanyahu kept saying, we have 3 goals and we're not going to stop until we achieve it. Well, you haven't achieved any one of them, and you're starting to talk about stopping. We're afraid to be certain. Isn't that a strange thing? We're afraid to be certain.
What would it take to change that? How do we get certainty back?
Well, it would take Mashiach. In other words, an end to the gullus mentality. Throughout most of our history, we have had to negotiate. And in most cases, when we negotiate, it's from a position of weakness. Because we're the minority, we are the foreigners in someone else's country. But we worked very hard at the art of negotiation. Now we have our own country and we keep negotiating. In your own country, you don't negotiate. You pass laws and you enforce them. That's having a country. Are we not ready to have our own country?
Rabbi Friedman, why are there people who sees things clearer than other people these days? And of course, I do refer to the Hasidims who have that deeper knowledge of Torah. I mean, more personal. I don't know if I'm wording things correctly. And why are we are not getting full on involved in bringing a change, which we have an opportunity to do? What is stopping us?
We actually are not stopping, and we're pushing all the time since the beginning of the state, because the Rebbe was involved in every aspect of the development of the state. He won many issues, not all, obviously. But again, there's no anti. There's only positive. So we are doing our part. But you see, the negative people are not afraid to be certain about negativity. They're certain that it's our fault. A large part of the population in Israel, and particularly among its leaders, is this deep conviction that it's our fault. That if the enemy, if the terrorists are becoming so violent and so vile and so evil, it's because look at what we did to them. Look what we did to them. We drove them to this kind of desperate behavior, which is a very dangerous thing, because the worse they get, the more dangerous the more guilty we're gonna feel. You can't win. Say, oh, after October 7th, now everyone agrees that they've got to go. No, now we feel more guilty. It's our fault that they are violent. As if they're not violent with each other. As if they haven't done this before. To each other. And those guilt feelings are absolutely certain. They're convinced 100%. The positive people are a little apologetic. So we got to strengthen those who are positive.
And how do we do that?
By letting them know that we have no doubts, we have no hesitations, we have no guilt feelings. There's no reason that they should. They are our heroes. They're doing all the right things, just not enough. So take it one step up. Tell the world for sure what you believe and what you intend to do. Don't leave things vague. Throughout this war, we're going to make Gaza safe for Israel. How? Can't tell you. Afraid to say. I really don't know. You don't fight a war with doubts and hesitations. You make a statement that is absolutely clear and it cannot be misunderstood. If you fire a rocket at us, your land becomes ours and you're out of the region. Not in months, in days.
Rabbi Friedman, there's uncertainty about Gaza and about people who read the same I don't know, the same materials where we get all our information and all our wisdom from, and yet there's two opinions whether Gaza is part of Israel or not. Even though in Perkei Avos it says very clearly that it is, however, there's still uncertainty among scholars on whether it is. How is that possible?
It's irrelevant. The argument is, was Gaza always a part of the borders of Israel? Who cares? If you capture it, it's yours. And they lose. So far, they haven't lost. It's a terrible way to fight a war. It's like an argument between friends. They're not our friends. So if we have a bit of a voice, if we have a bit of an influence, and we tell the government, why are you hesitating? Everyone outside of Israel approves and agrees with your doing whatever it takes. Make the entire region Jewish because it belongs to us. Do it. You certainly are capable. You're afraid of public opinion? Public opinion is on your side right now. not among the enemy, of course. So we have all the support from outside, just straighten things out inside. But we got to keep telling them that.
Rabbi Friedman,
now
that we don't have the rabbi physically working with the Israeli government, who is the wise person who is doing this job?
I think the average intelligent Jew or non-Jew can see it so clearly. Of course, the Rebbe said it when it was mysterious and nobody understood. And why would the Rebbe say that? Israel is doing everything right. But they weren't doing everything right. In the Six-Day War in 1967, they did everything right. And look at the results. In the Yom Kippur War, they were not doing everything right. They were playing politics. They let the United States convince them to not take a preemptive strike. They listened to Kissinger instead of doing what Jews are supposed to do according to the Torah. When you see a threat coming, you take steps. You don't wait until they fire at you. But they did. And Golda Meir died with regrets. Because it was a much bigger disaster than the Six-Day War. And since then, there hasn't been a unified, principled approach. It's piecemeal. A little battle here, a little war there. People die the same, but the results are not the same. So we need to be strong and we need to be confident in our Jewishness, not just in our army. We know we have a great army. We know we have good guns, but guns don't kill, everybody says, right? It's the person behind the gun. Well, give them more confidence. Let them know that they are winning a war, not just fighting for a ceasefire. And when we win, the world will be happy. The world loves the winner. Like they did after 67, at least for a week. Like they did after Entebbe for a couple of weeks. When you win big. So whoever can become a delegate absolutely should. And you don't have to be a scholar, and you don't have to be religious, and you don't have to be a macher. You're a vote. Like we read in this week's Torah portion. Every Jew has a vote. And we don't even look at you. You donate a half shekel, and you get a vote. And nobody asks, who are you, and where are you getting your opinion from, and what makes you think you're so smart. Nobody asks. You're a Jew, you have a vote.
Rabbi Friedman, then if you don't mind, I will ask people to vote right now because I am running. I am running to be a delegate because I want to have the right type of voice in the World Zionist Congress. Thank you so much. So I do ask people who are listening to us right now to go to voteforisrael.org and please choose slate number 12 for the 12 tribes of Israel. We are Beyachad. We stand for unity, together for Israel. This is exactly what we stand for. We understand that unity is the key to strength. And this is the only thing we were ever meant to be, is to be one people. So please vote for Israel. Number 12. Choose number 12. Beyachad. Thank you so much. Thank you all for caring. Rabbi Friedman, thank you for encouraging me to continue doing this. And I really appreciate it. It means the world to me because it's, I do think it's important to stand for the right things. And obviously, it's nerve-wracking, but it's important. And thank you for your encouragement. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot. So also I wanted to ask if what we see right now is in regular politics, not just Israeli politics, in United States, we see how our new government, how Trump is really trying to rule with an iron fist. He's strong-arming the entire world, and he's not blinking. And in some cases, we see that it is backfiring, and it looks a little scary, I'll be honest. It looks like because there is a lot of retaliation when he is going too strong. Do you think he chose the right approach? Is this the only way to be in this day and age? I mean, we're not talking about the land of Israel right now. We're talking about the US of A and the entire world for that matter. So do you think this is the approach that needs to be, or do you think he is going overboard with his tactics?
It's a good question, and I'm not a political analyst, and I can't predict what's going to be on the global scene. But isn't being right also important? Is what he's doing right? Before we discuss whether it's working, he claims that there are tariffs against America, but America has never had tariffs against those same people. Well, that's not right. So if what he's saying is correct, then what's the question? If it's not correct, then what's the question? So we get so caught up on the pragmatic, what is the world saying? How are they going to react? First, are you telling the truth? Are you saying what is right? Obviously, if you're right, you put up with some resistance. And if you're wrong, then you shouldn't be there. But people skip that step. Who is right? What is right? That's, I think, what people like about Trump. He seems to be representing the simple decencies that everyone should be expected to live by. If you put tariffs on us, we put tariffs on you. Oh, you don't like it? What is that? If you're anti-Semitic and you belong to a terrorist group, being deported is the kindest thing you can possibly do. In other countries, they would have them killed. Sending him home? Is that a punishment? If that's what you believe, go live among people who believe like that. Is that a violation of freedom of speech? We believe in freedom of speech. Go talk your speech to other people. Because it doesn't match what we're saying. So go say it. I remember there was this, they were joking about it in Australia when people were saying that every country is losing its culture. It's being watered down, it's being whatever. So in Australia, I think they had this phone. They answer the machine answers the phone. If you know the number of the person you're calling, press this. If you're looking for whatever, press this. If you want to hear this in another language, go to the country they speak it. Here we speak English. A little self-respect. If Israel is a Jewish country, why is every sign in Arabic? What are we, co-owners?
Yeah, well, that's the first thing Trump did. One of the first things. English is the official language because we also have signs in both English and Spanish in America, as Spanish is the official second language of the United States. So I think he is getting a lot of heat on being too straightforward about things. So I know that we're saying that this is the way Israel should be. That's why I'm drawing a parallel, that we have to be uncompromising in our position. And it seems that he is doing this, but on a bigger stage, on a world stage. So basically, the question is, we don't know if it's backfiring just yet. Certainly, his popularity is dropping in many, many places, including a little bit in the United States. But I don't think he's in it for a popular vote. So Musk, who is his right-hand man, is losing a lot of money by following Trump's orders and doing the job that he's supposed to do. So right now, is this like a breaking point, do you think? Or is this a position that they took? Is this a winning position? Because we can be learning from this. I think, he's front and center, and he's on the center stage. So, and by the way, his position on Israel is also very firm. If it was up to him, it's like, let everybody go now or else. He is not hiding behind his position here as well, but we're not supporting his position for some reason.
Well, there is one difference, I think. Most of the people complaining about Trump are worried about losing money. Just follow the money. It's all about money. The corruption that has existed until now has made a lot of people rich. And those people don't want to give up being rich, even if it is at other people's expense. So again, is he doing the right thing? Popular or non-popular? Is it right? Is it right to say that you can have Medicare without corruption? Without millions of dollars going missing? Billions. In Israel, on the other hand, the opposition is very ideological. The opposition in Israel is pro-Palestinian, even if it loses money, even if it loses lives. Very idealistic and very twisted thinking, very unhealthy. It's all part of the abuse of thousands of years. We just can't seem to stop being beggars, losers, second-class citizens, even in our own country. So with Trump, I don't know if the popular vote is going to help. People want their money. But in Israel, it's all ideological. It's all about what you believe and what you think and what is right. And to convince people in Israel who are pro-Palestinian, who think that we are guilty of stealing someone else's land, we got to change their opinion. Because they're wrong. They're so wrong.
Hopefully this is the truth that's going to come out next. So many truths have been uncovered in the last couple of years, and it's accelerating in its pace. So hopefully this one is going to come onto surface as soon as possible, because I think this is the one that separates us the most, unfortunately. Rabbi Friedman, thank you so much. This has been an amazing, as always. Just like every week, it's such a blessing for us to have this time with you. Thank you so much. And thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, and the focus that you always are able to give to the world, not just to us, to the world on a daily basis. And hopefully we can count on it again.
Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
All of this is true and the problems are real. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have good news.
Amen.
God blesses us even when we're doing the things wrong. So even despite our own mistakes, good news is coming, blessings are coming, Israel is going to come out stronger. Only we'll remember that we have to thank God, not the politicians.
Thank you so much. We will keep that focus going, and we appreciate your wisdom and your time, of course. Thank you so much. Looking forward to our next topic. Hopefully it's always going to be a good one and a positive one. Thank you so much, Rabbi Friedman.
The next topic is Purim.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course.
I'm very happy Purim.
Yes. Hag Purim Sameach. Thank you so much to you and everybody. Thank you, Rabbi Friedman.